Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Another week as we inch closer to our racing season here in Ontario. How you doing today, Adam?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. I had a really good positive day. Actually, it's been a good kind of weekend since about last Thursday, Friday. We've been on a good roll and things are going good.
Now, coincidence, but is that the last time we spoke?
We have
These
been
are
kind of busy.
unrelated occurrences.
It has been frosty. Not because we've just been
No.
busy. So
It's all good,
I
man.
do think it makes us fresher when we get into this. But we say that. This is the first time we've actually talked on the phone since last Thursday or Wednesday-ish. But we messaged the groups
Oh,
and
yeah.
wrote, always sending bullshit back and forth. Today, we're going to welcome Peter Turford to come on to talk about the SOS opener at Merrittville coming up this Saturday. We're going to welcome on who I think has got to be the winningest SOS driver, even in the history, Dylan Westbrook. He's the winningest driver Rush Weekend. D-Dub's going to stop by on the bottom part of the hour and talk to us about what's going on. And our first guest, Jamie Maudsley, is going to join us. He's our co-host on APC. And I mean, speaking about a guy we haven't talked to, Jamie takes his envelope on the last night, and we don't see or hear from him. I just assume he's going to be part of the team. So I don't know whether he's coming on to say, hey, I'm taking over, or hey, I'm quitting, or I don't know what Jamie's coming on today. And I actually said to you, really? Jamie's coming on? And you're like, yeah, he asked. So I don't know what's coming. Do you know what's coming?
No, it's awesome. I don't. And I get to talk to Jamie a little bit more. I do business with him. I buy my insurance from him, have for a long time. And he said something that was absolutely adorable today, Clinton. I'm going to let him say it when he comes on, but it just reminded me of how jaded I am.
Now, back to your insurance needs. Has Jamie not hung around this crew enough and heard the stories, the Adam Rosses, and he still took you on as a client? I hope those premiums are high, bro. Does he know you drove away from the gas pump? Yeah, running the gas. The other one that gets me is when you drove away with the pump and tore the pump handle off the pump.
Yeah, that happened. Last week I ran out of gas in the Tim Hortons drive-thru.
Again?
Well, yeah.
Can we talk about the I don't want to say which company it was working for because it may or not be the one you work for now. I don't even remember. But can we talk about 5 years ago when you tore a big piece off the back of the truck and had to get it fixed?
Oh, driving to the airport. Yeah, that was Cal Tire. I thought I had clearance. I read the sign going about 30 kilometers an hour. Wham!
We have to tell the story a little bit. Okay, so Adam and I are flying out of Pearson to work for NASCAR in the TSN stuff we're doing during COVID. We both have trucks. Adam's got a work pickup truck. I got my work pickup truck, the Ash Weekend truck. Well, at Terminal 1, you can drive your trucks in. At Terminal 3, there's no truck parking. So I went to drive in. I see the barrier. I back up. I drive around, and you have to go all the way out to the airport back in. Now, I'm panicking because we're late to security. I'm calling you like, man, what do I do? You're like, oh, you park in terminal, whatever, get the monorail. So we did that. We were standing in security. And I'm like, what'd you do? You're like, oh, I parked in Terminal 1. And I'm like, your truck's bigger than mine. You're like, yeah, I just ran her through, bud, maybe a little bent back. And you totally drove it right through the barrier.
Well, once you hit it once, you're not going to hit it again. It bends everything out of the way.
I looked at you, I'm like, what? You're like, it was aluminum. We can bend it back and weld it up. Don't worry about it. So, too funny. But yeah, Jamie, I don't know if I want to take him on. So, I assume Jamie's coming on to talk about APC in Delaware because that's what I prepped for. So, if it's anything different, I apologize. So, before we get too much further, we just want to start this off. This is something we've been doing. We're trying to promote the show on Mondays, lock down a guest or two, give you guys some time to filter in some questions and kind of mix it in. And we're also trying to ask a guest question that we'll ask all our guests, and you guys are welcome to chime in too. Today's question of the week, I guess you can call it, would be from the best era that you love the most. What did you miss most about that? So that's the fan question, Adam. You can answer it if you like, or we can just bring Jamie in and let's see what his answer to that is. Jamie's been around lots.
Let's bring Jamie on. We'll get to our answers a little bit later, but I want to open with how Jamie answered the phone. Do you remember, Jamie, how you answered the phone today?
I believe it was 17 more sleeps till opening night.
That's cute.
Yes, it was.
Are you still that guy, Jamie?
Not so much. Like I didn't go to practice day last Saturday. I was a little busy. I don't get so pumped for practice days anymore, and I don't keep track of the news as close as I used to in the off season. But once the clock flips from hockey to baseball, it's racing's right around the corner.
I just thought
you were up,
the enthusiasm alone. I just said, man, that's. I mean, I don't even know where my first race is yet, but I think it's Delaware on the 9th. But I'm never sure until just before. I'm like, okay, we'll make this work. I like surprises.
I got to a couple over the off season. I went to Daytona and hung out with some iRacing buddies that I'd never met before. Talk about a different experience, but just had a blast at the 24. And then the wife and I went and saw Supercross at Ford Field.
Right on. I love that Supercross stuff. Jamie, we brought you on today. I assume you're coming back for another year of APC with us on Racing America. We have a great time out doing that. And then I assume we're going to talk about the Elite program here with APC because that's something cool that came out in the past week or so. What do you want to chat about, bud? We got so much going on.
Oh, I finally had a Tuesday night with no hockey, so figured I'd join you guys. See what was going on, talk some APC, obviously. Season's coming up, and I think everybody's ready to go, or they seem to be getting ready to go.
Yeah, Jamie, is this the most competitive roster that we've ever seen? Like more people with a legitimate top 3 shot?
Well, you got another 2-time champ, Brandon Watson, coming back to race this year. Of course, Kyle Steckley, 2-time champ. Defending champ Josh Stoddy. Cool to see him race over the winter in Florida. And then you got guys that are just knocking on the outside. Former Dale Shaw had a great season last year as well. You got Jake Sheridan, definitely a title contender. And I think if Connor Pritico can overcome his DNS from last year, he's going to be right there in title contention.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be the best thing we've had. And it seems like every fall we go in for the last 4 or 5, where APC's doom and gloom. Series is over, pack up the tent, go home, and we come back every spring with a kick-ass product. I'm a dirt snob, right? So I'm still falling in love with the racing. The APC series has made me do that. And I think once you get involved with the people there, Jamie, I think that also makes it interesting. And that's one thing we've been trying to do with all our broadcasts is tell better stories. And that's going to be our mission this year. And there's a ton of great stories and great characters in that whole deal. So I think that helps really sell the fans too.
Yeah, definitely a personable bunch. You got Shea Gemmell. Once you get to know him, he's hilarious. Just Josh Stoddy's crew, great bunch of guys, and it's just one big family. And there's a lot of those teams that have been doing it for pretty much the whole deal, the whole 12 years, like Stoddy, like Chenoweth said, he's stepping back this year and only going to run part-time, but he's been around since day one, and Shea's been around since almost day one. So you've got a contingent of teams that have been beating heads against each other for years now.
So who is every year we go in and you can usually figure out, hey, this is the driver to beat. Whether it was J.R. Fitzpatrick at times or Brandon Watson at times, like there's always that upper echelon. This is where the bar is set. But I'm having a problem this year, Jamie, deciding whether that's Kyle Steckley or Brandon Watson or Josh Stoddy as defending champion. I think Jake Sheridan is good as he has ever been and only getting better and better. Like all of these people, you can't even fit them all on one podium, let alone one victory. Like if we're just talking the winner, one winner circle. Who is the rabbit?
It's just a crapshoot a lot of nights. And for the last 2 or 3 years, the benchmark's been Kyle Steckley. You want to beat him for a championship, you got to beat him every single night out. He had one mulligan last year. He had that one mistake, and that's enough where if nobody else misses a beat, you're good to go. You're in trouble. And the guy who doesn't miss the beat's good to go, which was Josh Stoddy. Like they just didn't fumble the ball all long. And Steckley just couldn't overcome that one error. And the other thing we saw is, as good as Kyle Steckley is, we saw Jake Sheridan beat him straight up at Sunset Speedway this year, in what was a great battle. So, I again, it's tough to say. There's a lot of chinks in Kyle Steckley's armor, but I think the whole thing caught up to him.
Jamie, I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. Let's talk about Brandon Watson coming back. He's been out of the seat for a couple of years, jumping with a new team. A lot of untested stuff. Is this something you foresee just bouncing in like he left, or is this going to be a bit of a learning curve for these guys to gel?
That's $1 million question right there. I know I picked him his first start out last year when we did our roundtable and who you got in the race, and wasn't the Brandon Watson of old. It's just a question of whether they've got their stuff together and whether they're ready to go. Again, behind the wheel, you're not going to find a better shoe. I mean, that's why he's got 2 championships. He's the all-time win leader. I think it's going to be tough for him to get on a roll like he was, 5-6 years ago, where he was winning, 6 of the 9 races or so.
And I feel badly for not including Dale Shaw, Ray Morneau, Junior Farley. Like, there's so many other drivers that are as good as anybody on the right night, on most nights. So this is a golden age.
Race winners. I mean, you're 12, 14 deep of guys that have a shot. And that's it's pretty rare in a late model series.
Yes.
Jamie, we're going to talk about Sunset, a little bit later in the program. It's always topic of discussion right now that the plans come out. It was shown on CTV. We'll talk about that a little bit later after you're gone. But let's talk about losing Sunset from the schedule. Was that anybody's ace up their sleeve that is going to struggle now because that racetrack isn't there anymore? Or how is that going to change the mixing order of everything?
I really don't think it's going to have much to play in it. I mean, the guys that have run the series for so many years, they've been to Sunset 10, 12 times, plus whatever they do on weekly races. And they've been to Sauble. Again, if you've run the series for 5 years, you've been there 10 times. So I think all the guys have got a pretty good handle on all the facilities. It seems like the odd layer is Delaware, though. That's the one where guys just seem to struggle to get the hang of. The guy's fast at Sunset. He seems to be fast at Flamborough. He seems to be pretty good at Sauble as well. But Delaware just seems to be that one-off. And that's where, the Delaware guys like Connor Peritico, where you've got 3 races at Delaware this year, that could be the ace up his sleeve.
Wow, how good did he?
Or a Jake Sheridan. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see any one of those 3 guys win 2 of the 3 races at Delaware.
And they're pretty damn good elsewhere. I mean, who's dominant at Flamborough? Who do you pick to dominate Flamborough?
Again, it's one of those wide open ones. It could be anybody. Shea very good there. Of course, Kyle Steckley's good everywhere. You can't leave him off the list. I think that's where, Chenoweth can have his coming out party. If he does decide to run 4 or 5 races this year, you can guarantee 2 of them will be at Flamborough, and he'll be stoked there as well. And of course, Dale Shaw, he runs great at Flamborough as well.
I think the beauty of this series is, as I sit, and watch all this stuff go on, I don't feel like there's one dominant driver. Sure, Kyle Steckley's had a couple career years recently, but man, I feel like there's 8-10 guys who can win everywhere we go. The show's always been amazing. So fans, if you have never seen the APC Late Model Series, make sure you get it out. And Adam, your first race is May 9th. We have 2 practices at Ush Weekend, but you never come to those, not that you need to. And then May 9th is our first race at Delaware, the APC kickoff. Spencer, show the schedule here, and then we want to talk about the elite program that they rolled out last week. Here's the schedule. May 9th, we kick off at Delaware, then off to Flamborough, Peterborough, and a lot of the same. Obviously, 1 race down. We lost 2 Sunsets and picked up 1 Delaware, but a lot of the same, as I like to call them, heritage dates, year over year, same weekends, and we build on that. Spencer, look at the elite program graphic. Last week they came out with an elite program, and this is pretty much drivers who commit to the full series with bonus programs and some extra payouts and incentives. Jamie, what do you know about the elite program, and why is this a good thing for the series?
I think it's just going to get more guys to more racetracks, chasing more money, which is always a good thing for sure. And APC just continues to step up with their involvement and supporting the grassroots racing. And I mean, obviously it's working for them because they keep spending a ton of money on sponsorship that way. And it goes a long ways to helping each and every one of the teams.
Now, is this an off-season only beard, or is this the new look for Jamie Maudsley?
Geez, playoffs just ended, Adam. I haven't got around to hacking her down yet.
That's fair. That's fair. I had to ask. Jamie, what?
The other thing I wanted to bring up, and I know you and I have touched on this, is this is kind of the race within the race, is you've got like 4 different chassis manufacturers represented. And again, with the NASCAR background or stock car background, it's Ford and Chevy, but I mean, all the bodies on these race cars are the same. The only thing that's different is the decal package. So I think that's really cool that there is that much involvement from so many different chassis manufacturers. And that's one thing to keep track of during the years. Almost like we should have a Constructors' Cup.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They're going to, right? You better believe the chassis builders are keeping track of how they do and who they stack up with. So really, it's something we should work on. Or at least be.
And the fact that a bunch of them are so local is pretty cool.
I think you need to break out the how we, do we screw them and how calculator. And at the end of every race, Jamie, you could just give us the Constructors Championship. We'll just make it up ourselves. Jamie, I want to switch gears though. Let's talk a bit about Delaware. You've been at Delaware for a long time. From anybody on the outside probably sees in the past 10 years, it feels like a major resurgence back in Delaware. That it is one of these spots to be every Friday night, anytime anything is going on there, whether it be APC on the weekends or, like we said, the regular stuff. Let's sell a bit of tickets for Delaware. Why should fans give Delaware a shot if they've never been there?
Well, we pack, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 people in there every single race night. It's definitely the most well-attended asphalt track in Ontario, and that's for a reason. Competition is absolutely top-notch. The chicken fingers are great. The ice cream's fabulous, and the racing action's hot. And we're looking at tremendous stock field again. Modifieds back for their second season as a reemergence of the Modifieds at Delaware, and again a nice short season. So if you want to race at Delaware and do the Oscar deal, you can go do that, and you might have the budget to do it. It's not going to really tap you out as far as having 12 home track shows and then the travel. So I think great. And of course, Super Stocks, Dynamite. It was neat to see Carson Nagy up in a late bumping fenders with his car owner, Jesse Kennedy, as well as Ray Morneau and Jake Sheridan if he runs the deal. So absolutely cool to see that as well.
So, Jamie, talk to us about your favorite era in racing. What makes you think of it? What do you miss from it?
So I know I've told this story before, but a lot of times I used to shoot hockey balls in the lane, waiting for my dad to get home from work on Friday night so we could go to the racetrack. And in Dorchester, there was a bunch of racers, and they all had open trailers. And from where I lived, you could see them all going down the street on the way to the racetrack. So that's what I miss the most about old school. Yeah, it's nice to stand in a nice enclosed trailer when it's raining at the racetrack, but that's cool, I think, the open trailer.
I love it. Good deal. Well,
I'd have to say the same. For me, it would be pulling a Humberstone back in the day and seeing all the cars lined up waiting to get in the pits and seeing who was there ready to go. But Jamie, looking forward to another great season. Tell the fans when Delaware kicks off, if you know it off the top of your head, so we can get things rolling.
17 more sleeps till Friday night racing. May,
of course.
Opening weekend. Bone stocks, V8 stocks on the card for Friday night. I believe super stocks are on the card as well. And then, of course, late models on Saturday night under the lights. Great way to open the season.
You broke up there, Jamie. Just give the date again. I know 17 days, but
May 8th and 9th.
Okay.
8th
May 8th
is the
and
Friday
9th.
night. The local stuff, and then Saturday will be the late models.
Awesome.
Good deal, man. Well, try not to break your hip when baseball season starts. Tell everybody the league you play in, Jamie.
I also got some news I got to give you guys. Found out at Christmas time I'm going to be a grandpa.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
My pit road announced his fiance Jordan are having a little baby.
That's wicked.
Awesome.
I think he's going to make the pumpkin smash.
That'd be cool.
Right on, man. Have a great night. And his baseball league's called what? Age appropriate?
Age appropriate baseball. Next week starts. Yep.
Awesome.
All
Don't
right,
forget
Jamie,
your
see you
port
soon.
juice.
You guys have a good night.
Cheers.
You know, Jamie's always good to work with. I think we have a great time. You know, when you're up with Greg or up with Jamie, it's always fun and entertaining. And he's just got a lot of history. Storytime Maudsley, right? Got lots of good stuff to tell.
He's a good throwback. Like, he does things that classic announcers did. I don't do, Clinton. You don't do, like, some of the stories, some of the shticks that he does, but he's got the passion for it. And yeah, he's definitely fun to work with.
All right. We are ready to go with Peter Turford as soon as he jumps on here. I don't see him on camera, but if he's there, Spencer, throw us Peter whenever you get him. In the meantime, let's look at Say What. So, Adam, you shared this. This was a press release. I don't know. Is this AI? Is this Hillbilly Jethro English? Is this cross with a bit of Weber Valley? Show that image if you can, Spencer, for Say What. I hope we got this straight because I sent in 1,000 things today. And I don't see it on the screen yet, so I bet Spencer's scrambling. That's okay.
The key to putting out press releases, so a media release, you've got to get the who, what, where, when, why.
Okay, so this isn't the bad part. Just let me set this up. This is an ASA Stars National Tour, Ebb Logistics. So it basically says, have announced the event, originally scheduled for Sunday, April 26th at Dominion Woodford, has been postponed. The event will no longer take place this Sunday at Dominion Raceway. It will be rescheduled to a date later announced. That's not too much gibberish, but go to the second half, which was farther down if you scroll down. This is where it gets weird for me. The change in date and possible venue results from a mutual decision made among series organizers, series car owners, racetracks, event sponsors. These parties share a common goal of delivering an entertaining race competition of the highest level in short track auto racing industry when evaluating current conditions and the event's forecasted potential, delivering on the expectations of what the fuck? Sorry, but what is that?
Quite often,
like,
I'll share things, Clinton, and you don't see them the same way I do. Right? Like, we have, but that's exactly the take. Like, what on earth are you trying to say?
Just go back, Spencer, because I might not have the best punctuation. Let Adam try and read that, maybe from like these parties share a common goal.
That's why I think it's ChatGPT, because the punctuation is perfect, and that's such an awkward sentence.
Yeah, okay, but even still, what caused what's really behind it? They didn't want to race there. They thought it was an unsafe venue. What was the cause?
The track didn't pay its bill, or nobody was going to show up, and the series knew it. Like, that's when you boil it down, Clinton. If it's not weather related, it's money related. Either someone didn't pay, or someone knows they're not going to get paid. I convince me I'm wrong. What else could it possibly be?
Just mention Peter. Peter, if you're watching, I'm not sure if your camera might be shut off. You might have to click your camera on. I think you got your camera muted. Spencer, is that what you're seeing too? Is that Peter I'm looking at? Okay. I just got your block there, Peter. Maybe you might want to try and re-log in, or just try and on. Sometimes there's an option to turn your camera on or off. I see you're on, but I don't see your face.
Sometimes if it's a laptop, there's actually a manual switch that shuts the camera off.
Yeah,
Could
I'm
be
not
lots
sure.
of things.
D-Dubs,
Clint,
if you're out there, jump on to.
There's things people don't need to know. And you want to put out a message, you're going to do some damage control, going back to that press release. It doesn't matter. Like if you're not going to give an actual reason, then just don't say it. The event's canceled. We'll reschedule to a later date, possibly a different venue. Done.
Look at, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of writing fluffy pieces because construction ain't ready in the past. So, but never that much fluff on that much cotton, on that much feathers, all in one helping. It's too much to choke down. It just, yeah. I think we're getting to the point where you got to be authentic with everybody.
The fact that you and I both read that and drew the same conclusion, like I say, 8 times out of 10, I'll send something like this and you'll say it's fine, or vice versa. We just won't 100% see things and go like, yeah, that's just ridiculous. This, we're both like, that's, yeah.
I think we could probably hear Peter while we talk to Dylan, even though we can't see Peter. I'm not sure what's up, Peter. We're not seeing your camera, but let's bring them both on if we can, Spencer. It's all right. Or even just bring me Peter's audio till we see a face. If you want. Dylan Westbrook's going to join us too. Dylan, welcome to the program. Getting ready. A bit of stuff going on with the car prep as you get ready to come back to Merrittville. How do you feel about Merrittville as a place you're comfortable? And how do you feel about going into the first race of the season this Saturday night?
Yeah, we feel pretty comfortable. Ended off there at a good note last year with the win. So tried a couple different things there for the final race, and I think it really worked out for us. So pretty excited to go back there. Got the car pretty much all ready now. Just really excited to get back in the car finally.
Dylan, I'm going to go off the beaten path here a little bit because there's something that's boggled my mind. You're so freaking good every time you get in a race car. How many weddings have you been to in the last 2 years, and how many are you going to this year?
I think last year we were up to 6, and this year we're at, I'm not sure for sure, but I think we're up to 4 already. So it's going to be another busy year.
So how do you stay on top of your racing game when it is clear, like you drive, oh boy, you drive like you've got the biggest metaphorical nuts in the business, but it is clear your nuts are in someone else's purse.
Oh,
how do you keep that?
Wow.
No, it's I guess for the Nationals, that was the closest one for not making it, but we made that work out, so that was good. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, we've raced a bunch, so at the same time, it's like, well, the wedding should hopefully only be a one-time deal, so should try to make those.
I don't want to blame it on your beautiful fiance Julia, who's been around racing long enough. I mean, she used to score the go-karts for us, but I'm blaming it on her friends because none of your friends are getting married between April and October. It's got to be Julia's friends who don't care that it's race season, right?
It's kind of half and half.
Anyways, Dylan,
I joke, but I'm truly impressed. Racing is about focus, right? Discipline, focus. You've got to be on it every time you show up. I'm really impressed that you managed to balance life and racing as well as you do, because you get out in that race car, man, and it's full speed ahead.
Yeah, it's it makes it for a busy race season. Just race season and by itself is busy enough, but when you start adding the weddings and all that too, and trying to make sure you can make it as much as you can, still get all the work done on the car and make it the track, it's pretty hectic.
Dylan, I want to switch gears and talk about the new tire package we're going to around here. You've probably got maybe the most experience on this tire from when you used to race it down the States. This new HTC plated medium one that we're going to in our rules, it's basically the same as the medium one that's been run across North America. What's going to be the biggest change? And for our viewers, it's a lot harder than we've ever had on Schweeken, and it's 2 inches skinnier. We're going from an 18-inch width tire to a 16-inch tire. Maybe a couple questions here. What are drivers going to feel that they're going to need to adjust with that tire? And what may the fans notice, if anything, about the new tire we're going to?
Probably for the racers, the biggest thing will just be that you won't be as hooked up into the track, especially when it slicks off. It's going to be a bit harder to get a hold of the track, just with it being harder and narrower. Yeah, for the fans, it might, like when it does slick off, the cars might just be a bit slower because we're not like into the track as much. But for the most part, I don't really think you'll notice it all that much, like for the fans' point of view of watching.
Adam, I just want to follow up quickly here. So D, you struggle when it's slick. So is this tire going to be a trouble piece for you? Is this something you're concerned about your year? Because let's face it, when it's slick, that's probably the most difficult you've had with the Speedway.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the thing. I've raced on a bit more, so I say I might get a little bit of an advantage, but then I'm not quite as good when it gets like black slick like that. So I feel like I'm probably be at like about the same point, not the best, but not the worst on it. But at the same point, we've been trying things like at the end of the season with some different stuff with shocks and just setup stuff in general. And it seems to be working a lot better. So I want it not to slick off like that, but at the same point I do just to kind of see if we're that good, especially when it comes time for nationals.
Dylan, when you were traveling as much as you were a front runner, but you probably weren't the best every night. Like you weren't the one everyone was looking at every night. When you go to Oswego, when you race up here, it's different. You're definitely the rabbit. You're definitely the one people gun for. Is it different the way you approach the races, like the way you tackle the races, whether you're the chaser or you're the one being chased?
No, I think we probably I think we go at it kind of the same way. Just the biggest thing is when I was on the road, a lot of those tracks I'd never been to before, so we didn't really have base setups, so to say. Where out of Schwegen, we kind of have a good starting point. We kind of know if the track's going to do this. We kind of know we'll put this turn in it or do this to the shocks or tire stuff. We've been racing there enough that we kind of know what we're going to do. As for like the racing part of it, like when I'm on the track, it's just always try to get to the front and win. You don't really drive any different.
I just want to bring Peter on. Peter, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, Peter. Yeah, we're just having trouble seeing you. We're going to have to look at Dylan's pretty face while we talk to you. Peter, you have this opener coming up at Merrittville. Let's talk about that. Let's build some hype. What are car counts looking like? I think you're going to be fantastic this weekend. How are you guys feeling from the SOS side of things?
Actually, I thought we would probably be a little light, and then I started going through and talking to a few people, and yeah, it looks like we're either going to be full or entering B main territory, which I never like going to B main town, but I think, yeah, we're going to have a full field.
There's worse things than a B main. I get what you're saying as the leader of the club, but how exciting is it to host events where, the best get into the show? It's not a right, it's a privilege, and you got to earn it, Peter.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is I used to be a broke-ass racer myself, and I can remember pulling into racetracks and do, yeah, we're good. So I always relate to the broadcast guy, unfortunately, and that's probably a little backwards thinking, but that's like I never worry about a guy like Westbrook. I mean, who worries about him?
Julia. Let's talk about that though, Peter. I think for the guy who's up and coming, the broadcast racers, you put it, man, those nights when you can qualify on those nights are the closest you're going to get to a win, and those are very rewarding. Dylan, let's throw it back to Dylan for a second. Dylan, let's talk about new dirt at Merrittville. What did you hear? Some guys were out there. They put apparently 500 new loads on it. I'm hearing it gelled well. From everybody who came to our promo weekend that weekend said it was good. Have you heard anything about it? And do you think that's going to change things at all for you?
No, I kind of just really heard that they put different dirt down and didn't really hear much more than that. I was just kind of watching the videos, the odd one they had up, just from even just random people filming it from Test and Tune, just kind of watching it. So yeah, I mean, it should be good. That like later in the year last year, it kind of seemed like it. Before it always had like a fair bit of grip, it seemed, and it just seemed like it'd slick off and then be like right through the middle, where it was never really like that in the past. So it might hold a bit more moisture better, so we might have a top and a bottom, so to say. But I mean, even last year, like that last race of the season, it was a really, really good race. Like it was like the three of us going at it for the last bunch of laps. So I mean, I think it'll still be good, but yeah, hopefully it just all stays together, doesn't get rough or anything like that, and puts on another good race.
That probably was the best sprint car race I watched all year, Clinton, and nothing against Oshwegan because we saw some great races there, but man, that battle at Merritttville was sick.
Yes, it was.
Dylan, how different is it when you're in a 3-car battle than a 2-car battle?
Quite a bit, because like normally you just slide a guy and you kind of slow yourself down when you kind of slide up and almost like park it in front of him, so he has to hit the brakes. So when you're just racing against one other guy for like a 2-car battle, you're slowing him down, then you're good to go. Where you do that and then you have a third guy that just drives by both the end, you just almost keep on doing that back and forth, and hopefully on the last corner you're kind of the guy that's out front and just like drives across the line first. It makes it a lot different.
I've got a follow up, Peter. How proud are you? You weren't driving any of those cars, Peter, but how proud were you of the show you guys put on at Merritttville at the end of the year?
As you said, Adam, I was over the moon proud. And the other thing that was going on at the same time as that nonsense was happening at the front, just a little bit behind, Ryan Turner and Darren Dryden were having a points battle that went down that ended up being decided by 4 points. So there was something everywhere when you were watching that race. It was truly peak race for me that I've ever been involved with.
See, Adam, you always give me shit and say stop wishing away the stuff. Like one of my mottos I've been saying for years, I just got to make it to midnight and we'll be okay, right? Like just get the night over. And you're like, man, you're living these golden eras. Enjoy it a little. Peter, I feel, is the same guy. Peter's like, oh, it was a great race. I call bullshit. Peter was biting his nails the whole time, hoping everybody just gets to put it back on the trailer. And how relieved are you, Peter, at the end of those nights when everybody goes, it's a good show, but more importantly, everybody made it.
It's more important to me than it really should be. As a guy running the series, I get a little too worried about the people on the track, and I get upset when a guy breaks something at one of our races. He doesn't even hit anything. If a motor blows up at one of our races, I'm thinking, geez, if he hadn't come to our race, he wouldn't have blown that motor. He might have blown it next week, and I wouldn't feel so guilty. But yeah, I do feel overly guilty when something goes wrong. But that race that we're talking about, that last race of the year at Maryville, that was one where everything went right.
So, Peter, you've seen a little bit of racing in your time. Our question this week is, what do you miss about the best era in your memory? What was your favorite era of racing, and what do you miss?
Well, my problem is it was 60s super modifieds at Flamborough, Delaware, Nilestown. And Pop de Gras hot dogs at Delaware were just like hot dog heaven. And when you're a little kid, I mean, the cars are all somehow more colorful, louder. Everything just seems perfect. And when you're a little kid, you're also not going, gee, I hope they got a good car count tonight, or nonsense like that. You were just watching the race cars go around the racetrack, making lots of noise. There was beautiful smell, beautiful colors. It was just overpowering of the senses. And I'd almost like to go back and see if it was as good as I remember it. Because I really do think I have rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, don't do it. Like it wasn't. I wasn't there, but it was the 80s for me. Same sort of thing. And if we went back, we would ruin it. I believe that firmly. Dylan, what about yours?
I was trying to think about this earlier today, and I'm not too sure. I think I'm just still in my favorite era. I think. I mean, it's not. I've been doing it for a long time, but not as long as other people, so to say. And yeah, I haven't really seen it change a ton, I don't think. So I think I'm just still in my favorite era.
I think that's fair.
These are the good
Thanks,
old
boys,
days.
Peter, I tell our guys that all the time. You know, a lot of tracks don't have the type of success we've had, and you've had also recently with the tour. So I tell that guys all the time, look, these are the days you're going to look back on your kids and tell them, when I was racing, we had 30 cars every night. And, you know, those are the kind of stories we're going to look back on. Peter, thanks for coming out. Once again, this Saturday, Merrittville is the SOS Open. Peter, we'll talk to you more throughout the year. Dylan, we're going to be following you obviously all season long. Best of luck. Kick it off on the right tune. Spencer, we do have one tease of Dylan's car. Dylan, what's the best way to describe your car this year? Is red a good way to describe your car this year?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There's a bit more red.
That's all we're getting, boys. And you know how much I hate teases. Dylan, you're lucky we're buddies because I'm so apt to throw the whole thing I've seen, but I'll keep it your secret till you do your promo reveal. So thanks,
Perfect.
buddy, for joining us. Thank you, Peter. We'll see you guys both Saturday at Merrittville.
Yep. Thanks for having me on. See you guys later.
Good, guys. Yeah, thank you both.
Exciting
every
deal.
time you say Merrittville, the doc looks over my shoulder at the screen. You've done it 2 or 3 times.
I have a glitch on my phone every time I say Merrittville. It adds Speedway and it frustrates the hell out of me. I don't know why it does that, but all right. We talked about say what. We already want to know what your best year is. We already dealt with all our guests tonight, so it's just you and me, bud, on the home stretch here, coming down the back straightaway. So, are you insured? This was a video that was shown on a Mandy Pouches and Mike Mahaney's Dirt Track Untold, I believe. A little bit of a tidbit for all racers, and Stuart Friesen talked about insurance. Are you insured? Roll it.
Know what kind of insurance you have. That was really, really big, and if it's accepted in Canada, if you're going to race in Canada. Even being Canadian originally, we had to jump through some hoops, and I'm really lucky that I do have good health insurance. But there's a supplemental deal that I got for this year, which I didn't really know about, that former outlaw driver Shane Stewart sells. It's CAP. It's called CAP, CAP insurance, but it's like $400 a year for the international plan, and it gives you like up to $500,000 in coverage. I think the deductible's, a little bit high. It might be like 10 grand, but still, if you get banged up bad, that's gonna cover what you have. I think that's my biggest thing of advice, is just to, know your insurance game. It sucks when you have to use it and it happens, but having it's definitely better than not, because we would have been in a world of shit if we didn't have it.
Good advice there.
Especially, I'm so glad to hear someone who's pretty young say that. It matters, because young people are invincible, Clinton, that nothing's ever going to happen to them. But when it does, you want to have that. You want to have that protection for sure.
Well, I also think we have a lot of independent contractors, and to be in this game, a lot of these times you own your own business, or you have to keep your job working and pay the bills. So I think this is really important. It's something, it's called CAP insurance. Just Google it. You'll find it out there. See what's offered here in Canada. I know when we were with Dirt Motorsports, Dirt used to have a package for all of their teams, and maybe Dean or somebody could maybe let us know if they still do. It was a group buy-in. It's $300 or $400, and yeah, like Stuart said, $10,000 deductible. But if you have to cover your first $10,000 and they cover the next $95,000 of your problem, it's a pretty good deal. So definitely good insurance, and it'll also cover things like lost wages and stuff like that. So depending on the package, so it's something good to look into and check it out. Good. All right, moving on.
Agreed.
Bring your chips, not your chirps. This is a shout out to our buddy Corey McAllister. And first off, run the CTV news video, Spencer.
Speaking of Innisfil businesses, now that Sunset Speedway is looking ahead to its future with plans to turn the property into a self-storage yard, locals are sharing their thoughts.
The sense of community, the friendships, and not just friendships, family that we have grown to have over the years is unbelievable.
When they bought it, all these guys loved driving their cars around the track. They made the track larger. They made the stands larger. They spent millions of dollars. But unfortunately, this is a seasonal business. I don't know about racing in the rest of Ontario, but the track just doesn't make money.
The discussion was part of a public meeting held at the town hall last night. The racetrack officially closed back in September after being in operation for nearly 6 decades.
Definitely sad when you see the image, but you heard the lawyer there. It just didn't make money. And when you're in business and you have that kind of land investment, you've got to do something with it.
And then there's people still in comments like, bullshit, they didn't make money.
That's part 2. Show the screenshot.
Okay.
So Corey McAllister threw up this. If everyone chirping Sunset just put their funds together, they could operate it. Welcome to 2026. Bunch of powder puffs that are so strong on Facebook. I love the track and miss it, but we ain't going to chirp my pal. Obviously talking about the Todishes who have moved on. But, you know, like Corey says, bring your chips, not your chirps. Let's see what we got there. And you know, it's one of those things. We're going to continue to lose them if we don't support them, do the right things, make it work. No amount of crying is going to fix it because we don't have a lot of saviors out there. You know, if Glenn Stiers wasn't so addicted to racing, we wouldn't be in the place we are either. So we're just.
Racetracks are not making track owners wealthy. Thank goodness our track owners already have some wealth and they're willing to put up with a bunch of assholes that show up every week because those assholes are their family, right? That's how they treat it. It's an addiction. Name one racetrack owner whose life wouldn't be better if they didn't operate a racetrack.
You can. Okay, I'll give it to you. John Caselli, because John would not know what to do with himself if he didn't have that racetrack to go to. But
no, I think
everybody else.
I think you're absolutely right.
Everybody else would be gone. Glenn would be off boating somewhere. You know, Todish has already made their bed. I know what Rinaldi's would be doing. They'd be racing with the boys. You know, it'd be a lot easier. And I think when you come with, now you said the asshole attitude, Matt. I've been talking to Mike Morris over the past couple of years. He's been coaching me. And that's what makes that addiction. That's the passion. That's why our shirts this year at Ush Weekend say catch the passion. And every time a racer comes yelling at me or barking with a shitty attitude, I just have to remember that's just their passion coming out of the wrong hole. That's all it is. And I gotta live with that a little bit, and I understand that. And so I, as a grain of salt, as I'm being smart ass about it, I really have tried to take a stand back in the last couple of things and realize, why are they so frustrated? Why are they so angry? They really are passionate about the sport, and they're going to be here next week, pretty much no matter what. So
when I think of grumpy people at the races, my mind always goes back to Dick Stoner. The late Dick Stoner, Amanda's dad, Dick and Helen.
Yep.
Dick was the most miserable son of a gun ever. But I think it was absolutely his right to be miserable and be at the races. And I just think that was kind of his demeanor when talking to someone who was sort of on the PR side, official side of the racetrack. But he supported. He was there every week. It was at Flamborough for years and years, every week. Everyone's got a different aura about them. And that's their right to have it. If you're there, you're part of the family. And we're going to figure it out.
And that's what we're learning. People express their passion in different methods. So we're all right. Let's skip over Babes. Let's jump to Tear It Down Anyways. And this kind of ties into what we just had, which this is a post that somebody made talking about streams and people bitching about the cost of streams. So show that, Spencer, if you can. So this is one thing where, okay, Everything Dirt says, I support racetracks and streaming their races. I'm seeing a bunch of comments going after Vic Hill and his streaming of the Thrill TV, mainly about having to pay another $40. Let's talk about it for a second. I've seen people complain about a $40 price tag, but what would it cost a family for to actually go to the track? Gas ain't cheap, food ain't cheap, gate passes ain't cheap. You're talking about a whole lot more than $40 for a night's over. Meanwhile, staying at home, you got no fuel, expenses, easy access to your own food, your own drinks, your own couch, And if you really want to invite a few buddies over, split the cost, turn into watch party, now you're paying next to nothing. But here's an even bigger thing nobody seems to be talking about. Why are we not having more conversations about streaming services giving more back to the tracks? So switch the page, Spence, if you can. And the next part of it says, don't get it twisted. Dirt, Flow, others are absolutely giving the sport, bringing a ton of exposure. But what about when a track like Volunteer and someone like Vic Hill directly do their own thing, where money goes back in the facility to help pay the purse, cover expenses, and keep the place alive? Why is that criticized? We all jump in and see the posts when tracks are shut down. Man, I wish something could have been done, as always said. Well, this is something that can be done. Tracks are trying to create their own revenue streams to survive instead of supporting it. People are tearing it down over $40. At some point, it comes down to this. You can't have it both ways. You could say you want tracks to survive, then you can't complain when they try to make something happen. What are your thoughts on that? And then I'm going to talk about the whole G-Force model. But, he's kind of right there. People are going to bitch about $40, and the track's trying to make money off of something. I don't know. Where do you sit in on that?
So it's a free market. And I respect everybody who's doing what they're doing. Clinton, as you know, going all the way back to the beginning, I had a bit of a different outlook on our streaming product and some of the racetracks we were going to. You and I didn't exactly see eye to eye. I think everything is fine, but the model has to be win-win. And when you really break it down, it's got to be win-win-win-win-win, because you've got racers, you've got racetracks, you've got the production costs, you've got so many things at play that there has to be a common vision among everybody involved. And I shouldn't say you and I didn't agree, but when it came to streaming pavement races in Ontario, there was no common vision because the track owners didn't see the same opportunity that we did. It exists at Ashwegan Speedway. It's a business model. So I sometimes it's nobody's business. I'll equate it to WrestleMania, but let's do that afterwards. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, so I understand if tracks are just making hordes of money off their pay-per-view and not contributing, not making any advancements, not doing anything. I get where you have maybe that greed factor where someone thinks, oh, they're just taking it on me. It's been said about us before, and I've ranted on this show about it. And that's kind of why it made me think about it. We have a totally different market at Ashwegan. And to get back to what you were saying, you originally said, we got to find a way to give these tracks some money. But at that point, and still to this day, we are not profitable. It's not like anybody's taking home hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're not sharing it because of the free model that we were working with, and we still believe in it at Ashwegan. I think it's like I said, you can't have it both ways. We could either stream and give a little bit back, but let's face those numbers. People only pay for streaming if they already love the sport, and the whole thing we're trying to do is give away our stream to get more people in to discover the sport. I feel we're trying to save it at Ashwegan. I also have said, we have that big league attitude where we give the games or races away for free, and we get corporations to pay for it. Now, I'll tell it like it's not anybody's business, but our budget at Ashwegan alone to run the type of shows we run is about $120,000. We struggle to make $100,000 a year in sales. Mike Morris works his balls off to get there. And before, we had Savior sponsors for $85,000 that covered a lot of nut. And then we only had to find 40. We lost them 2 years ago. So we are nickel and diming $2,000 at a time to keep the wheels on this bus and the G-Force thing that goes on in Ashwegan. Because Glenn's got money, but he ain't going to fund it forever. It's got to stand up on its own. And we do a good job of fighting that. So there's not a lot of money. Like, even, I'll be straight with you. We've had speedways reach out and say, hey, would G-Force like to advertise? I'm like, we'd love to, but we're not even covering our own shit yet. And we're still fighting every week to make that, right? So I still feel that we may not be paying a lot back to the speedway because we don't have to, because Glenn's there. But I still think the speedway is getting a massive push by the viewership it gets. Our sponsors are up because of the viewership we get. Our drivers should be, if you have half a business mind, you should be able to benefit off of that. being on Rev TV every week, being on GeForce Live, getting select races on TSN. So yeah, our model's a little different. You know, we're still trying to give it away and make the money to keep it classy. And could we do it cheaper? Sure. We could go back to one guy on the roof, throw you over the tower, let Greg announce alone, tell Abby we don't want the drone no more, throw away all the speed shots, get rid of the replays. We could dumb it right the hell down and make a couple bucks, but it's still, you know, you want 25,000 views. Now, if you could get 25,000 views and $10 a head, hell yeah. But we stop at $10 price tag on our Friday, we're going to drop from 25,000 views to like 115. It just won't,
and it'll grow. It'll grow, but it still won't grow to a point where we can say we're growing the sport. So I want to hold off until next week or the week after and talk about the WrestleMania, the pay-per-view model. Now it's on Netflix, it's on ESPN, but people are screaming and yelling because there's ads on the program. Like you can't get it right. And they're charging thousands of dollars for tickets in person. It's just the same way we're messing with the World Cup in ways that it shouldn't have been messed with this summer.
Ooh, well, that's a whole discussion. I don't know nothing about that. We'll have to talk about that one.
It's big ticket prices, and soccer is supposed to be accessible. Compare the ticket prices this year to what they've had the last 2 or 3 all the World Cups, and it's astronomical.
Just look trying to find NASCAR these days. Here in Canada, TSN kind of gathers most of it for you. But man, like, if you're a race fan from the 80s, means you're like 70-something these days, good effing luck trying to find the programming you're looking for every week. I mean, I think I'm fairly savvy, and I'm on a go fish scavenger hunt every week to find where the broadcasts are and when they're on.
Yeah. No, it's tough. And then understanding how the broadcast deal is better now, but their cable TV numbers are down, but they're still significant because it's on. It's hard to piece together.
We better throw some more hot dogs Spencer's way because we still got a little bit to go. We're going to be here for at least another 15 or 20 minutes by the looks of it. Babes, better bring your bucks. And I don't want to pick on nobody. I don't think I centered it out, but this is a discussion that comes up on the internet all the time, Adam. Show it up, Spence. So this is racetracks wanting to charge $45 for a 2-month-old to go in the pits is crazy behavior. I understand liability purposes not wanting kids in the pits, but she literally can't move. Do you want to jump on that first out, or you want me to take it?
I think you're in a better position to take it as a track operator. I don't get it. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Like, I can see being upset, but at the same time, I can see it's a breathing being coming into the pits. It's a different world we live in. You're almost paying for the liability, right? That baby presents a big liability.
Yeah, and so there's so many ways to go about it. Shorter answer is it's free on the other side. You know, you guys welcome, bring all your children in for free till they're 12 years old. Sit up there, enjoy it. It's made for them. Way more than what we've got going on in the pit area. And I would say Oshweekon is probably the most dangerous pit area I've ever seen, if I could put it that way. Simply by the amount of sprint car traffic, and it's just packed, right? It's crazy there. We have 70 sprint cars on some nights. It's crazy. So, you know, that's one thing. We don't want the kids in there at all. But then you also see that point. I mean, I'm a dad. I got my kids at the races. You know, I understand wanting to be with the family. I understand mom not wanting to sit on the other side for 4 hours, especially if mom was part of the team and you know, contributing before the baby came along. These are situations that come along. As track promoters, one, it's just a massive liability. Two, you know, where do you draw the line? Okay, we let the 2-month-old in. Do we charge for the 3-year-old? Do we charge for the 6-year-old? Where does that start to come in? And that's not an excuse for why we're doing it. I'm just asking a question. Like, where do you draw the line there? The other point to it is it doesn't, you have to make a rule for the bad parents, and everybody gets punished that way. So you may be super attentive, keep your baby in that carrier all the time, but we see it in our pit area and everywhere we go where parents aren't watching their friggin' kids. Kids are running around, running all over the place. So you leave your baby in the stroller and you happen to turn around for a second, even if the baby can't move and you're not seeing it to be pulled out of the way, it's just nobody wants to hurt your baby. It's just such a tough thing.
If everybody could buy a ticket to be on the sidelines of a Buffalo Bills game or to be in the dugout of a Toronto Blue Jays game, they would buy it. They would pay thousands of dollars. There's a reason you can't buy it. There's a reason you can't have that access. So some of these, like that's really first world problems going on right there, because you do not want the pits overrun with people. Not in this day and age.
I can't help but laugh at 777 Motorsports comment. The kids aren't the issue this weekend. It's the old guys in the New Balance running shoes that act like tourists and wander in front of the sprint cars. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things, and I feel for the moms. I know who wrote it. I feel for you. It's one of those things, though. Man, it only took one problem for us to all have that problem, and I think that's just where it comes. Like I said, we have to guard, and I mean, a couple times a year, I'm driving through the pits at Oshweekend, jamming on the brakes in my buggy, and telling a kid to put his scooter away, put the lacrosse ball away, put the soccer ball away. We are not doing that over here. And then it's followed up by, where are your parents? And so, yeah, I just thought we had to address that a little bit. We have IHRA and Cup Series controversy. Wow. Let's jump to Cup Series. I don't think there's any media to go with it, Spencer. But did you hear all the jaws jacking over, Reddick winning another one? And they're saying Cody Ware, after no caution all day, was paid to spin out. NASCAR's rigged. What do you think, Adam?
I don't like the conspiracy talk. We've had these conversations a few times. Racing is not rigged. Cody Ware ran more laps on those tires than anybody ran all day long on a set of tires, and tires were falling apart throughout the day on less laps. So
I saw a clip with Tommy Baldwin today, and he was saying he had to take the blame for that because they had him out there way too long. But man, you keep throwing gas on that.
Denny Hamlin cost
tin hat
himself
wearing
that
guys.
race.
Hey, I don't show you that, what happens over there off camera, because that's where I hide all my tin hats. Me and Spencer fought about everything from the moon landing to we can have spirited discussions. And I'll actually write Spencer, say, are you in a good mood? Is now a good time to debate? And we had a good debate over space travel the other day. He tells me it's like hot dogs. You're too stupid to know how they made it, so just eat it and shut up. So I can live with that. The IHRA went out and made a statement, Adam, this week. They post something. There is media for this, Spencer, a screenshot. They came out and said, you're not going to be able to push people out of the way and keep the win, Adam. This is what I feel we need everywhere in racing. Some series haven't caught on yet. Last night, the IHRA made a statement that every sanction in the country should hear. They said to the racing community that the wreck to pass model is over. Come to race, do it respectfully, or you'll be put tail. If you missed this race, you missed an amazing race last night. I applaud the IHRA on the stance to stop the BS of wreck to pass. Wendy's, come and get your driver. What do you think about that, Adam?
No, good for them. If that's the stance they want to take, good for them. It is very easy to police if you're consistent with it. I'm more concerned that there was like 4 people in the grandstands for that big race in Cordele, Georgia. It was alarming how empty the place was. So how fast does the luster fall off from the great officiating, the great racing you're putting on? And they were legitimate racers out there. So I don't know why there's no people, but that's what I noticed the most. But good for them. Officiate the races. It's easy to do. Why not do it?
Is that the chicken or the egg theory? Maybe the theory is if you have talented drivers, full fields of cars, great officiating, good racing, maybe build it and they'll come. It is their first year out there.
Yep.
And I think making positive calls, build for it. Hey, I see so much stuff in the States going on, and maybe just because there's so much more volume, I'm shaking my head every day. Like, are you for real? Are we really letting this go? Like Mandels in shorts out on the track fighting with officials? Are we serious?
Yeah.
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 All right. We are down to videos of the week and picture drop. I never thought we'd get here today. Let's go through some pictures, then we'll have some video fun and go home. Show us some pictures, Spencer. What do we got? I think we got a couple more things to chat about still. This pissed you off, Adam. Show the two pictures and then let him rant.
What world do we live in? When you put, so I go to work every day, Clinton. My work shirt has my name on it for a reason. If I go to the races, like if you're gonna wear some merch, cheer for somebody, but who wears their own merch?
Yeah, so put that back up, Spencer, the picture of the hat. So this is a company selling merchandise, and you can get your own custom race team, your own made-up race team. So, if you're a racing fan, you deserve a hat with your name on it. Now, I would challenge back to you, Adam, and say, how's that any different than me getting a Buffalo Sabres jersey with my name on the back?
Yeah, don't.
Because I don't really play. I don't play.
I hope you do.
What do you mean?
I really hope you do. Because for one, which last name would you choose? For two, what a dink.
That's why I just get across the back.
Do you have a Buffalo Bills jersey with you? Not with you? Okay. Because I would laugh at
you. Okay, so I do have I have a Hamilton Bulldogs jersey with my name on the back, but that was my uniform. I was announcing for the Bulldogs. So we got team jerseys with our name on the back. But I didn't go out and just like fanboy a jersey. So you're saying if I get a Bills jersey and put my own Clinton on the back, that's wrong?
Yes.
So if Connor got a Buffalo Bills jersey and it had a 44 Ross on the back, that would be improper.
Yes.
All right. So
I just
you're
don't
putting those people and these people in the same category. Okay, let me ask something else. Since we've got two things in that box, do drivers that wear their own merch fit in that box too?
That's a touchy subject, because if you're promoting sales and making money from it, good. Maybe you want to show that off. Like if you're Hulk Hogan, you're going to wear your Hulkamania gear. But it's kind of bad juju to wear your own.
All right.
Not many drivers wear their own merch.
Moving on, Spence. Big news for the NASCAR Canada Series. Tagliani will race all races now. He'll be working with, I think it's the Tees team for the road courses, and now he's got a deal with EHR to run the number 3 for all the oval races. Great for the series. Great for that whole deal, Adam, right? Tags is a big deal.
He's a big name. It's a big draw. Yeah, good for the series for sure. I don't know what the equivalent would be in Ontario, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I'm not sure who that was. He's definitely legendary status. Done it all. Good to have him back. Obviously a big feather in that Tour's cap, and we fall in that series. Obviously, you and I'll be out there quite a bit this year. So,
to be clear, there's no race car driver in that category in Ontario. Like the equivalent would have to be someone very famous, like
he has rock star status.
Yes, you're picking it up.
Okay, what's next, Spence? Big news. Our buddy John Brush got involved with the Tammy 10 deal. $10,000 to win the Supers. The Tammy 10,000 series kicks off. Historic return to Flamborough Speedway May 16th. That's going to be pretty wild, Adam. I can't imagine these cars. I can't imagine them at Delaware. Never mind Flamborough. But it's great. Big support for John. And, of course, the Delaware race is June 12th. Awesome that John gets involved. John's a super fan. Huge supporter of Ohsweken Speedway. He's the reason we are the Cool Kids Core Pack Sprints, because John from Core Pack does a lot for race fans and for the race team. So we appreciate that, John. Thanks for the support. Good, do our best to get out to some of those races. What's next, Spence? This is something cool I got to do, Adam. We took the race team out to the school. We have 13 schools part of our fundraising program. This was awesome. It's always great to see the young kids get up close. The big hit for them is the race trailer. We took Glenn's new trailer, and for them to see what the car, as they said, lived, and all the compartments and all the stuff, because it's just an interesting deal. We want to thank all the schools that got on board with our fundraising program, and the funds are for them, not for the Speedway. We give them tickets to sell, adult tickets that are normally $20. They can sell it for $10. They get $5 per ticket. And congrats to the 13 schools that raised a bunch of money and helping us bring new race fans to the deal. What else, Spencer? Keep it rolling. And back in the series of wicked ass haulers. So look at this, Adam. This is you know who this is?
That's Jimmy Horton.
Yeah, Jimmy Horton. Back in the day, and look at this. So they had a full chassis, no engine, no tires, no axles, bolted to the roof of their pickup truck. That's just wild.
That's awesome.
Another baller setup. Look at the wing straps up in front there. It's crazy.
I remember that rig.
I'm not that old, so I wasn't born yet when that came out.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
I was probably 5. All right. Yeah, this is Route 1 Raceway, I think, last week. They got a bit of rain Thursday, Friday there last week. Had to cancel their practice. Look at that Soup Bowl.
Wow, that looks cold.
All the best to the Smolders family. Yeah, it does look chilly. That's got to be a panoramic view. That track's not that round, is it? I mean, I've never been there. Is it a complete circle?
No.
All right, that's a bit of a pano shot. Okay, what else, Spence? This is the first LS motor. We talked about it for Thunderstocks, the 602 compatible one, ready to come out at DSC. I just snapped a picture when I was there the other day. This one will be ready for pickup later in the week. We'll announce next week who's going to run it all and how that program's going to come together. We'll talk about that. You can switch up, Spence, while we're there. Racing with Hunter, thanks for joining us. He's sending greetings from Kannapolis, North Carolina, from a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran. Thanks for your service. We appreciate everything you do. That's it, Spencer? What's this? Oh, that's Route 1. Okay, yeah, so that was definitely a panoramic because definitely not a complete circle. Good job, Spencer. That was overtime work for Spencer. He went out and found that on his own.
Wow.
I like when he works hard. What else we got, Spencer? I know there's more pictures. Oh, did you see this, Adam? So this was a truck in Texas. That is not a silver tarp over the top. One of the seams on the roof let go in a major windstorm and ripped the entire roof off this $400,000 trailer. But show the comment, Spencer. Somebody commented and said, "Did you smack it and say the magic words, that ain't going nowhere?" And why that's funny for us, I'm mildly trying to get over my OCD tendencies. One of the first times we strapped the generator on the side of the G-Force trailer. So last thing we do, we go home, right? We shut the power off and strap the generator inside the door. Dan has always said, that ain't going nowhere. So now I'm thinking,
it has to be said.
You're not going to say it. And I'm like, even if nobody's around, that ain't going nowhere, under my breath, so I can at least OCD complete the task, right? It's just,
yeah.
I thought that was funny. I had to send it to Spencer today because it's an inside joke with the crew. What else, Spencer? Videos. Not too many, maybe 5. Any random order, let's show it. 4.
1 minute I'm on the road looking at the bushes. Next minute I'm in the bushes looking at the road.
I just thought that was funny because that's like Brighton Speedway.
Can you describe the accent?
1 minute I'm on the road looking at the bushes. Next minute I'm in the bushes looking at the road.
I just thought that was cute. You know, I get to see that. 1 minute I'm on the track looking at the river. Next thing I'm in the river looking at the track. If you haven't been to Brighton Speedway, the creek runs right down the back straightaway. And there's about a 2-foot wall that'll prevent you from getting a soaker if you're lucky. But they always seem to find the deepest parts of the Brighton Creek. So I thought that was funny. Show us what else, Spencer.
Oh, trouble on the front stretch. Cates backs into.
Okay, turn this down. If this isn't, just stop this. Just stop it. Come back to us for a second. I got to set this bullshit up. You know I have a hate on for the shit house. I mean the madhouse. I mean whatever we're calling that place. What's it called?
The Madhouse.
Bowman Gray Stadium. So, I don't know how much Matt Dillner is getting. I know we're over time, Dick Decker. Just settle down. Dick Decker. That's what I said. I can't even spoke anymore. Matt Dillner's a great announcer, Adam. What if I came to you and said, hey, I want you to just bullshit this thing up? It's like when we talked about last week about when the TV crew is asking you to say these words. You're not going to say it. Just listen to how bullshit, and this freaking pisses me right off. Because you're going to tell me this isn't totally set up garbage. This is worse than AI bullshit, if you want to put it that way. Run it, Spencer. This is trash. This is trash motorsports right here.
Trash. And the Tysinger long hair is in the middle. Now, Austin Cates' dad gets involved. Dads, fathers, sons, wrecking here on the front stretch. The madhouse goes mad. The crowd is going nuts. Sanders versus Cates. Sanders versus Cates. Backing over each other. Demolition Derby time. The Demo Derby might be 4 weeks from now, but right now it's happening. The police have entered the field. The 83 is up over the front of his son's car. Steven Sanders says, I've had enough. The officials stopping the competitors right now. The police have intervened. The scene has settled. Blaze Sanders brings his car. AJ Sanders is out of his car. He's not happy. He comes around. Here comes Austin Cates out of his car. Austin Cates yelling over his car. The black machine. He is not happy with AJ Sanders.
That's enough.
The police are escorting.
Can you hear the fakeness? They're all actors. The only guy not acting there, Adam, the only guy who isn't a fucking actor in that whole thing is the goddamn photographer. Everybody else is full of shit. The cops are paid. I'm not even putting my tin hat on. That is just bullshit. And I love Matt Dillner, but you can hear it in his voice that it's bullshit. He's trying to put it on. Get him on. Yeah, get him on here so I can call that shit out.
You remember the clip we showed last week where the announcer, he wasn't the best announcer I've heard, but he was so passionate. Like he was feeling everything he was calling. That lacked that a little bit.
And you're telling me anywhere in North America, when the cops roll out there, you're going to drive around them and continue to back up and no effing way, man. That's why I'm thinking those are either the shittiest cops you've ever seen or they're paid actors too. The whole thing's a schmozzle. And I'm okay with that if we're calling it that, but don't pretend it's real. Same thing with music. Don't get up there and lip sync and charge me for a live concert, bud, because that's going to chew me out more than anything. And Alvarez said it right. Announcers trying to build up drama. I mean, I remember we used to have the monster trucks at Merrittville. And, you know, he'd rob all loud and he gets up the stack, over the stack and like pump up the crowd. I'm like, pump up what? This is trash. It's just terrible. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. I had to show you that. All right, Spence, what's next? We got 2 to go. I still think this is cool. We showed this about a year ago. It's becoming more popular, Adam. So this is sim racing, but you're really like sim driving these remote control cars around the track. It's like being in a go-kart, but you're not in the go-kart. I just think it'd be fun as hell to try. What do you think on this? Or is this stupid? I think it's cool.
Well, it's both, Clint. What's
That's
the
our next
point of the screen if you've actually got cars on the track? But I guess you need the screen to see the cars on the track. Like it seems like.
Well, your giant ass isn't going to be carried by that car.
Normally, that's true. Normally, you see them on the sidelines working their remote. Like it's overkill. But hey, excess is fun.
I think it'd be fun as hell. Now, 4 of us got in those rigs, and we're banging doors, and the cars are little plastic things. We're not hurting nobody. I'm spinning you out. I think it could be badass. Wherever that is, we got to check it out. I think that could be a long way. Yeah, we have come a long way since slot cars. You're right. Man, still some cool slot car stuff, too. But I thought that was cool. And last time we showed you said it was stupid as heck. but I think it could be fun. So we'll agree to disagree. Last video, what do we got, Spencer?
And don't forget, cone ice out of the entrance to the speedway.
Okay, so this is, stop this, Spencer. This is the flagman coming down to fight the tech guy. Where is this going on? Show this.
And don't forget, cone ice out of the entrance to the speedway for having shaved ice snack or a smoothie.
So what could have, I'm trying to think, in what scenario would Carter Long want to storm over the tech booth and fight Kelly Hallett?
Yeah, it just, that wouldn't end well.
Obviously, that's an inside joke because Carter's about 4 foot tall and Kelly's like 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide. So, but yeah, what could they have been fighting about? Just the insanity we see. That's it, bud. It's all off the list. We made it.
Yeah, we had a good show, another good show. We've had a couple of good ones in a row. We're going to keep on doing that. We got one more show in the month of April, and then it's hammered down.
Yeah, so we got nothing this weekend, and then we've got, for us anyways, Ohsweken opens up on the 1st, Merrittville this weekend, Delaware practice, so much going on. So it's almost time. We just need Mother Nature to turn up the heat a bit. It's still fairly chilly around here.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I don't want to be sitting outside. I still believe in the theory that, and this is my next tinfoil battle for you, Spencer, the seasons have shifted by 1 or 2 months. So now we're colder in the spring and warmer into the fall, and we just haven't adjusted our months to go. We need a little like month light savings time to shift things back to our racing schedule perspective. No?
Junior Hanley. No, I'm reading Alvarez there about Junior Hanley. And folks, thank you so much for. No, Clinton, I didn't mean to not acknowledge that. I agree with you. Weather shifts are crazy, but I want to show some appreciation. Joe Adams missed the old days of a souvenir program at the races. Dave Murdoch, and I forget who else chimed in agreement. But the '80s at Cayuga with the ASA cars, ISMA coming to Cayuga. There were a lot of special days. This is the golden era for somebody. So remember that. Let's not ruin it for them. Let people enjoy what we've got going on.
Agreed. We're building to another great year. All our things we're associated with are on the great path right now. The things we're looking forward to the most are coming up soon. So hang tight, everybody. Get ready. And go see your relatives now because it's almost race season. You won't have time for that in about 3 weeks. See you, bud, out for another good show. Spencer, tons of work tonight. I know we overloaded you. We appreciate it, bud. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We'll see you next week.